was that the duty of good faith did actually stay and was therefore the protection of parties in terms of the subclauses A and B of the legislation. They were specifically retained.
Point of order, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Speaker, I seek leave of the House to table an article from LawLink saying that under the trial period the employer doesn't have to tell the employee of the decision to terminate. The employees have no right to comment, nor are they able to request the reasons for dismissal.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is no objection. Jacinda Ardern.
The Minister, how can she claim that the 90-day trial will provide real opportunities for people at the margins of the labour market, including young people, when a quarter of those who did get jobs under the scheme have since been fired, and there has been a 12% increase in youth unemployment since this policy was introduced?
Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Mr. Speaker, the report actually said 3 out of the 4 had actually been retained. And in relation to the 1 out of the 4, it wasn't a question of firing. In one case, it was because the employee's family did not want the employee to be employed.
David Bennett.
Supplementary question to the Minister of Labour. What reports has she seen about the 90-day trial period?
The Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have seen an editorial from the press noting that, quote, especially for those with limited skill levels or work experience, the scheme can spell the difference between getting a foot in the labour market door and lingering on the dole. The Herald on Sunday wrote that, quote, anything that encourages an employer to take a punt on a new worker, and in particular to give a chance to someone who shows promise but lacks credentials, must be worth trying. It defies common sense that cost-conscious bosses will casually sack someone they have spent 3 months training. We've also, Mr. Speaker, had support from a surprising but welcome source. When asked about the 90-day trial period, the former president of the Labour Party, Mike Williams, said, quote, I don't think the unions are going to win the argument, unquote. Mike Williams understands that the public take a common-sense approach and will prefer giving workers a go to leaving people locked out of the labour market.
Is this a supplementary question? Carol Beaumont.
Supplementary to the Minister. How does she think allowing all employers to fire staff without reason within 90 days will encourage investment in training and upskilling in the workplace?
The Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Mr. Speaker, this policy is about giving opportunities. This is a policy in relation to hiring, and the Labour Party consider it a policy relating to firing. If you look at the 40% of if one looks at the 40% of employers that would not have taken on an employee without a trial period, that in itself is indicative of the success of the policy.
Carol Beaumont.
Point of order.
Point of order,
my question was quite specific and asked about how will this encourage investment in training and upskilling in the workplace, and I don't believe the Minister touched on either of those points.
Order. Members asking questions need to be aware when they ask for ministers' opinions about things like that, they won't always get the answer they seek. Today, members have had a very, very sharp lesson in how to ask tough questions. Question number 6. The supplementary question, Carol Beaumont.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister. Can she confirm that someone can be dismissed because A, they asked for some time off, B, they question a manager's decision, or C, the boss's golf partner's son needs a job? And does she consider that to be fair?
The Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not going to make comments on hypothetical or situations that are requiring an interpretation both of the employment contract and of the Employment Relations Act and of the actual conduct that happened in the workplace.
Question number 6, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.